is this museum here all your idea? How did it come about?
It's interesting how it came about by accident mostly. The recording studio was going to move to Midtown, and we had looked at several buildings. Then at the last minute, one that we were all set to move into had floor plans and everything, fell through. So one of our clients said, well, why don't you move into the back half of my building, which happened to be at 20th and I, in the building that used to house the Oasis Ballroom in Crabshaw Corner from 72 to about 86. So Ray said, can you find decor, some old posters and handbills from Crabshaw Corner and Oasis? That'd be nice to have in the lobby. I got a hold of Roger Shepard, who did 99% of the artwork for the club, and he sent me 50 pieces. Well, they're mostly small, and we had them framed up real nice and realized that that would barely make the lobby look interesting. Had some photos of Jerry Garcia and some of the other people that play here of note. All this wall space left over. We said, well, let's expand it. Let's make all the other venues represented up and down the halls. Let's take one room, and instead of calling it Studio 1, we'd call it AM. Instead of calling the other one Studio 2, we'd call it FM. And then another one we call Rock, which is where some of the really valuable historical posters are too.
Viga Hagen, the original owner and the founder of the California Talking Machine and Wireless Company, must have hired Ed Fitzgerald because he was the first general manager. Ed was working out of his home in Rancho Cordova, and he met two guys out in Rancho that he hired, J.B. Winans, Fred Gaines. I was working at KXRQ, which was KZAP, before it changed format.
It's a jazz
I was a
station.
16-year-old kid. I had an all-night jazz show. I was going to high school. I was a junior in high school, and I was on the air from 2 to 6 a.m., 5 days a week, playing jazz. I had very understanding parents. And then I would do the Sunday morning blues show. And so I heard that the station was being sold, and I pursued that. I went, well, what's going on? And they gave me Ed's phone number. So I got a hold of Ed, and he came to my house and interviewed me. And I had, as you've already seen, I had a big, even by at that time, I had a big record collection. So I was hired to be the first music director to put the library together for kids. I'm going to be on the air too. And so that, yeah, I came into the picture. Well, I graduated in high school in June of '68, and I went to work for KZAP in, I think, July.
So was KSAN where you went right after KZAP?
Yeah.
Okay. That must have been a fun time.
Yeah, I was on the air by March of '79, having gotten fired at KZAP in January '79.
Okay. So that was like a step up, I mean, in the
Well,
radio world or the hip world.
well, see, yeah, because to me, KSAN and KMPX were pretty synonymous. I mean, that was an evolution,
Right.
primarily because of Donahue.
You know, so for a while there, it was interesting in the Croy studios because you had the former air staff of Croy AM now down the hall on KROI FM, and then Croy AM was hiring all new talent, and the ratings were starting to plummet because people were, I mean, you could hear when you were on the air, when you were on AM radio station back in '79 during this transition to FM, you could actually hear a vacuum of people tuning out. When you're on the air, you could hear, God, people aren't listening anymore.
Phones stopped lighting
Phones stopped lighting up, you know, so it was really.
So you
really
did the morning show, didn't you?
Yeah, I ended up doing mornings.
Yeah.
Cox on the radio in the mornings. We had features like Cox in the Dark, where I would ask a stupid question that I didn't know the answer to.
Right.
Like if a semi-truck's not a full truck, what is a full truck? Or if helium's lighter than air, where do they get it? You know, and I would allow listeners to call it and get me out of the dark, and the one with the best answer I would give an award to. And then back then, we were just getting into wireless broadcasts, where we could take a remote unit out and actually broadcast from the unit, direct, on a Marty system. So I would, every Monday and Friday, I would do my morning show from a different location somewhere in Sacramento.
Music critic, and I was the first full-time pop music critic that they had.
Wow.
And
that was 82?
82.
Yeah.
They hired me in 85. I started in 82. So anyway, and then I did that.
And at that time, I was getting my start in radio at Quad, so I was on the air talking while you were writing.
And Quad was originally a quadraphonic radio station.
That's right.
That was the deal, right?
Four signals.
We were talking about Pink Floyd before.
Yeah.
That was their deal.
That's right.
Quadraphonic never quite worked that well.
That's right.
I actually knew somebody who had a quadraphonic system, though.
One person out of thousands.
Yeah, yeah. And But anyway, I mean, working at Tower was great. Tower was like, even before the Bee, Tower was like such a grounding, and you learned so much working at Tower because you'd have all these people come in. And I remember one time in Sacramento, we always thought Sacramento was so off the beaten path.
Yeah.
But there were certain people who come through, and Tower was interesting in that way. Because Tower was great because it wasn't just Tower Records, it was Tower Books too.
Yeah.
And people would come in, you just learned so much from the people who came in. I guess that's my point.
Yeah.
But anyway, I started writing for the Bee, and the thing is that at that point, Sacramento, we had the amphitheater at Cal Expo, which was nothing special, but we were on the tour circuit because Bill Graham Presents presented a lot of shows up here, and we used to have those 3-night Grateful Dead stands, and it would just turn into this big circus, and it was when rock and roll, it was the peak of rock music was the 70s and 80s, and in the 80s, it was such a big money thing.